Hello, I'm JP Sears. I'm wondering, how can you feed your soul? Actually, probably the other way around. How can you allow your soul to feed you? Your soul is probably full, it's probably fulfilled. There's maybe not a question that's more important to ask. So I'd like to invite you to explore some insights and strategies via some video clips from a live teleclass that I recently offered on this topic. Open wide. About to go live for a teleclass, so I better act like I know what I'm doing. Why are you here in this life? Are you here just to survive until your death? Are you here just to self-medicate from your own existence? I don't know. Those are interesting questions. Or is there perhaps a greater purpose of us being in this life? If you think your life is about surviving, if you think your life is about accumulating more possessions, accumulating more credentials, if you think your life is about becoming something bigger than that which you are, then I would dare say that's the evidence that you're living in existence, not knowing how to receive from your soul. Boy, that's uplifting, don't you think? What if we bumped into a bearded wise man on the hillside, or a bearded wise woman for all I care, and he leaned into us and said, what if I told you you already are everything? You just don't realize it, and you don't perceive it. And because at this stage of your consciousness, you only know how to perceive what you perceive, you don't believe you're part of everything. And what if the bearded wise man leans in even further in his mysterious bearded way and says, when you learn how to perceive that which you can't perceive, then you're making a connection, you're making a realization into believing and experiencing that you are a part of everything. Our experience of present day, what if that's simply a holographic representation of our childhood, which is a holographic representation of our birthing process, which is a holographic representation of the time and place when we as a spirit invited a sense of separation to bless us with the curse of believing we're separate from our Creator. If that's true, would you be willing to look into the mundane of your life for the purpose of symbolically seeing how your relationship with your higher self is presenting itself to you? Well, I think we're off the deep end now, so good for us. Right now you might hear your ego saying, well, what the hell do I do with that concept? If that's true, and that's a pretty big if with a capital I-F-U, JP. If that's true, what do I do with it? Something mostly to be curious about. A curious flower is perhaps one that opens and blossoms so it can receive the rays from its higher self. I would call its higher self the sun. We need to learn how to ask bigger questions than we did yesterday. Bigger questions that are large enough that we can't answer them. If we have an answer, we're not curious. I ask you to have beliefs but don't believe your beliefs. P.S. I hope I'm listening to this. I think I need it. Could you picture a tree? Maybe each leaf has its own sense of individuality. If the leaves had eyeballs, then they would be cursed with seeing themselves as other compared to the other leaves that they see. If I can see you, then it's very easy for me to believe that I'm not you, and therefore I'm separate from you. And what if the leaves didn't know how to turn their eyeballs upward to actually see the stem that connects them with the branch, which connects them with the tree, which connects them with Mother Earth? What if the leaves, in all their innocence and naiveness, don't know how to turn their eyeballs inward to experience their own stem of connection? So maybe the leaves start to look at each other and realize they are each other. Perhaps the awareness of this is the only source of true, genuine contentment that we can ever find in our lives. Thank you so much for joining me to consider how you can feed your soul. If you found this video purposeful for you, please feel free to share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and also be sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also want to know what works for you for feeding your soul. Please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be curious to find out what works for you. The soul food tastes like coconut oil.